And let's roll out, roll out, roll out, roll out, let's roll out.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. This is Food, Fitness, and Fun with my main man, DRE.
What's really good?
And I am JD, aka He Who Pods. And we're getting right into it today, folks. So, our sponsored by is a sponsored by, homemade sponsored by once again. Trying to do better out here, trying to eat out less. So this is a quick veggie omelet. Nothing special, y'all. Nothing too crazy. Just chopped up a couple veggies, threw them in the eggs, seasoned the eggs with a little pepper, salt, garlic powder, threw it in the skillet, and then I had some whole wheat hamburger buns laying around. Toasted those bad boys, slapped a little butter on them, and here we are. That's it. Quick meal, tasty, healthy. That's it. And actually, I don't even use real butter. I use a vegetable-based bad boy experience. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
So,
nice.
That was it,
You
Drake.
do real eggs?
What'd you say?
You do real eggs, or do you do like vegan eggs?
Nah, I do real eggs.
Okay.
I do real eggs. It's not that I'm not against dairy. I just try to minimize my dairy intake. We don't need dairy, and consuming large amounts of it is not good. To be honest, most of my dairy is probably from my ice cream intake, because I don't drink milk at all. If I have cereal, I have almond milk. It'd be in some foods, but if I make it at home, I don't use whole milk. If I get a coffee, I get oat milk. So it would be like in cheese. Like if I put cheese on stuff, if I get like pizza, obviously there's cheese on there. But probably my biggest consumption of dairy in one sitting is ice cream, which, as y'all know, I'm trying to bring down.
Yeah.
But I'm not anti dairy. I just try not to consume large amounts of it because we don't need it. So to consume dairy every fucking meal, it's counterproductive.
Yeah. No, I think it's good that you're having eggs because eggs is an excellent source of protein as well as like amino acids. You know what I'm saying? I think more people should be having eggs. So I was kind of glad to hear you say that you eat eggs. You know, I know eggs is considered that. I don't really consider eggs dairy.
Mm-hmm.
Like to me, eggs is the one like complete protein. It's not missing anything. So it's just a lot of like nutrients that's inside of an egg that you don't really get when you're completely like vegan.
Got you.
You know?
No, you're right. It's not really dairy. You're right. It's not. It's technically in the protein category, but a lot of the vegan crowd, they don't eat eggs, or that's why I know you were asking. So yeah, but I eat eggs. Actually, I eat eggs probably once or twice a week. I'm not a huge fan of breakfast, especially eggs. So I don't eat it that often, but I do, we've spoken about me hitting the sandwich spot by the crib. I'll go in there and get, egg and cheese veggie sandwich like once a week. And the other day I just was craving eggs, and I was like, I don't feel like going to the store to just get a sandwich that isn't going to have all the shit I want in it. I have time, I'm home. I'll go get the eggs and just make it myself. So I think it was like 3 or 4 eggs, threw it in there. It was a nice, hearty meal. So I'm cool with it.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before we move on to fitness, I just want to say thank you to all of our viewers, subscribers, people watching, listening. I know, like I've said, more people are watching than listening. We appreciate that. And we just want to give y'all a quick shout out to our viewership, our listenership. Thank you for being here with us as we approach the 50 mark. This is like episode 48 or some shit. And, y'all been rocking with us for a minute. And those of y'all who are still here, we just want to say thank you. And those of you who just joined, hey, welcome. You know what I'm saying? You might be new. There's plenty of back catalog. And welcome if you're here for the first time.
No doubt. Yeah, if you're here for the first time, check out some of those back episodes, man. We discuss a lot of stuff. We will probably be reintroducing some of the stuff, because as time goes on, we've gotten smarter and You know, not necessarily change, but definitely enhance things from our first couple of episodes. So we're growing as individuals, and therefore our podcast is growing as well.
No doubt. Yeah. I mean, more knowledge, more experience, you know. And sometimes people ask, like, even when we talk about topics, I don't know about you, but people hit me up sometimes and say, like, man, y'all went in on this topic, but y'all didn't mention this piece. What about that? So we want to cover some of that
Right.
ground as well.
Yes.
All right, so let's dive right into our fitness topic. There's a movie out. It's been out for a minute now. It should be making its way to streaming sites soon. So if you haven't seen it in theaters, you should be able to pick it up on streaming sites very soon. It's an awesome film. I've seen it 3 times now. I am absolutely crazy about it. It's called The Woman King. And the star of the film is Viola Davis. I actually didn't know until afterwards that her production company was involved. This was a movie she wanted to do for like 7 years. She's been trying to get this movie done for a long time. She is heavily involved in both the on-screen and off-screen process. And there's a lot of training that went into this film. And I thought it'd be very interesting to bring it to the pod. As you all know, if you have been here before, Dre is a martial artist, and in both of the interviews I saw, both on Breakfast Club and on, I don't remember which late night show, I think it was Jimmy Kimmel, I could be wrong. Anyway, Viola Davis spoke about the training, and there's also a video I just found today where it's like a promo video that just speaks about the training.
My body went through hell.
Oh, the training.
It's been a lot.
I was like,
I don't know if I'm going to survive this process.
people think training's gonna be you just getting a little bit strong to do a bit of stunts. But for this,
3 hours of martial arts a day.
We had weapons training.
Everything from sword play, spears, machetes, a lot of punching. An hour and a half of weights, sprinting.
Gina, the director, joined us, and that helped bond us. She's transformed our bodies, she's transformed our minds as well.
I mean, I feel like a badass.
And so it says that they did 3 hours every day of martial arts training, an hour and a half of weight training, or strength training, as we like to say, and they had to run sprints. This shit is crazy. Plus, they had to record all of that. I tried to find some stuff about their diet, but they didn't really deep dive in on the diet. In the Breakfast Club interview, they spoke about it a little bit. They said they had a lot of quinoa, brown rice, broccoli, you know, the usual stuff we hear. But I don't know what else they had. One thing they did say is they did give them cheat days where they had like a fish sandwich. And that was like the flyest shit ever for them to be able to break diet and have the fish sandwich. But then two of the main actresses, Viola Davis and the young lady, I don't know her name, I'll put it on the screen. She's one of the other main characters in the film. They did say, yeah, they would be cheating at night. Viola Davis says sometimes she would have a little bit of candy. The other young lady said she would eat Doritos. And they said, but they both felt like shit because they felt like they were cheating out on the squad. Like, you know, all of the women are here. We're all doing the work. And I want this sweet shit. I want this salty shit. But it also feels bad that I'm fucking up because my whole squad is here. We're all bonding and working together. And I'm not doing what they're doing. So they felt bad in those moments. So obviously, before you go, Dre, these women did not have a 9 to 5, right? So obviously we cannot look at this and say, okay, I'm going to start doing 3 hours of martial arts training, and then I'm going to go hit an hour and a half of weights, and then I'm going to go sprint, and then you'll die. Because it's so much in a day. Even in the promo clip, and I'll probably put it in here, Viola Davis said, like, my body felt like it was going to finish, like it was going to die, it was going to collapse. So yeah, clearly we can't do this, those of us who have a 9 to 5. But I was just curious what you thought about it. I have thoughts on it as well. And I just wanted to kind of give the movie some props and also show the dedication that this entire squad of Black women had to get in shape in these, I believe it was 9 months. So go ahead.
I have 2 words basically, and that is volume training.
All right.
That's really it's really all it is, right? No matter what thing you're trying to get, the more time you put into it, the better off you get.
Right.
What's going on? So they had to try to acquire skill. They had to try to acquire muscular strength, and they had to try to acquire physical endurance, right? So trying to acquire these things takes time, that's volume training.
Right.
And so, that's the first thing I think about when it's like, okay, well, yes, they have to, their job is the movie. That's their job.
Yep.
And so, 3 hours of martial arts training, because you're trying to look like on screen a person who has been training for years, right? So here's
Yes.
people who haven't probably done any weapons training. They probably haven't done any martial arts training. And so you're trying to cram in a bunch of training that someone like myself has done over, 40 years or something. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's like you're going to have to do that. Not, I wouldn't say to catch up, but to look like on screen, you know what you're doing, so that when someone puts a knife in your hand or a spear or all these different weapons, it looks natural.
Right.
And the only way it's going to look natural is if you develop sort of like muscle memory. You have to like develop this muscle memory with it, and it flows and it looks natural.
Right.
So yeah, it makes sense to me. And of course, with strength training, it's the same thing. It's like you have to look like you've been in shape all your life, even though you haven't. And so you're going to have to put a lot of work in. And, with the endurance, you have to look like you can run for a really long time and pretty fast. So they have to, put them through it, So hats off to their trainers. I'm sure they had a few. And I think it's great. Now, in terms of people watching it and saying, that's what I'm going to do, hold on.
Yeah, that's why before I let you go, I said, wait a minute. Before I let Dre go, let me just preface this by saying,
slow down. So you have to look at all 3 of these things and then say to yourself what we kind of talk about here all the time. What comes first? Like, what's your first priority? Right? Are you trying to get strength? Are you trying to get endurance? Or like most people, you're just trying to lose weight? What is that? What's your first priority? And then you want to sort of like pyramid down. Because you do have a job and you can't spend 6 hours in the gym. If you get an hour, you're good, So, but I do believe in volume training. You know what I mean? I do believe in go in there and do a lot of a thing, whatever that is. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, it's your leg day, go in. You know what I'm saying? Do legs, not just don't get involved in that touch your site is bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Fucking do legs. You know what I'm saying? That stop being all over the place.
Right.
And that's what I like is that when you talk about volume training, you're really like laser focused on what it is you're trying to accomplish for that day.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, this is what we're doing. So you go in there for an hour and you're going to do legs and you get as many sets and reps in as you can. And then, hey, you walk away. Just like we try to do, even with the same thing with our cardio, or you want to call physical, or you want to call endurance, cardio, same thing. Right. Where it's like, hey, I'm going to try to do 45 minutes to an hour. It's like, oh, all you got to do is 20 minutes. That's true. The least you can do is 15 to 20 minutes. And if that's all you have, fine. But if we realize, hey, if we're really trying to kill this and really trying to get this skill and become better at it, the more time we put in, the better we get at it. So try to get as much time as you can. If you're going to say, hey, I'm going to do cardio, put it up 30 minutes, put it up 45 minutes. See if you can, see if you can rock an hour. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like yourself, and you're like, all right, I'm going to get 20,000 steps a day. That's volume, man. That's volume like a mofo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's volume. That's volume. So, the first time you try, it's like, man, this is getting hard. But the more and more you do it, the easier it gets. And you find yourself getting to that 20 a lot more
Often.
regularly than when you maybe first started. So don't be afraid of the word volume training. It just means doing a lot of that activity to get at mastery level with the results that you want.
Right. Yeah. No, I think that was great. Yeah, I think it's awesome that they have the trainers, the time, the dedication, the contractual obligation. All of those things help, right? If I put something on paper that says I'm going to be ready in 9 months and I sign a contract, I'm now obligated to be ready in 9 months. I don't have a choice. So obviously that's also going to help. I think all of these things are great tools that these women, these actors, actresses had available to them. I think that's awesome because it helps, right? All of it helps. Me and you, we send each other stats. We send each other food. We call each other. It all helps, right? Some people call it an accountability partner. Well, they had several accountability partners. They had contracts. Oh, yeah. They had trainers, and they had their other coworkers, peers, staff members, whatever term you would like to use. All of that is a great assist. And I think all of that helps push. I mean, we've been in the gym and we're both like, fuck, I'm tired. But now, come on, man. We got 2 more sets. Come on. You know what? I'm going to help you. Come on. And we know that these things help. We know that these things are helpful. So I think it's awesome that they had these resources available and were able to get into shape and look amazing for this movie. Everyone. I mean, Angela Davis, unbelievable. Viola Davis is no spring chicken. You know what I'm saying? Right. And that was one of the things that was awesome after the movie. After the movie, me and my daughter had a long talk on the way home. And part of it was how great the main character looked. And she's like, Dad, she looked great. She looked so good. I said, she's grandma's age. She said, what? No, she's not. I'm like, okay, well, like you like to say, search it up. Go ahead, pull out your phone. I'll tell you her name. Right. Look it up. And she looked at her name, looked it up, looked up her age. She's like, Dad, that's crazy. I'm like, yeah, it is crazy, but she's putting in the work. That's what's not crazy. When you put in the work, you'll get the results. So I think, first of all, it's awesome that they have these tools and resources available to them. I think it's great. I think they all did a phenomenal job. Like I said, I watched it 3 times already. The shit been out like a month. I mean, if it was on streaming right now, I'd put it on after this pod. It's awesome. But yeah, now let's flip it to Joe Schmo, people with 9 to 5s, regular Joes. Yeah, we can't spend 6 hours in the gym. We talk about this all the time. One of my favorite stories to tell people is I remember I was inspired by a specific actor and I sent Dre a video and was like, son, look what this dude is doing on like 4 or 5 hours of sleep a day. This is crazy. He works out twice a day. Man, look at his body. This is great. And your response was exactly what we both just said. Well, it's his job to look that way. He's getting paid to work out twice a day. I'm not getting paid to work out twice a day. I'm running a business. I have a 9 to 5. I have a kid. I have a life. I got a lot of shit going on. no, I cannot be in the gym for 6 hours a day. There's just not enough time in the day. I need another 6 hours to be on the day. I need 30-hour days. You know what I'm saying? Maybe then. So we have to be realistic, which Dre already said, and I agree. We say it on this pod all the time, and I think it is a great way of looking at things. It has helped me in recent months to be better with fitness, which is prioritization and time management, right?
Yeah.
So we prioritize, right? Dre came on here, I don't know, 2-3 months ago now, and said, hey, my new thing is I want to see how much I can drop down, how slim I can get, you know, how much endurance training I can get in. And if you follow Dre, you see that Dre's been going nuts with the cardio. You know, he's biking here, biking there, elliptical session here, elliptical session there. It, like he said, volume. Now, do you need to go and do sprints for an hour? No. In fact, if you listen to this pod and say, okay, I am inspired, I'm going to go to the gym right now and do an hour of sprints, you're going to hurt yourself. We spoke about that here before as well. So yes, prioritization is important, but also be realistic with your goals. I totally agree. If you want to do cardio, lots of cardio, and drop weight or just build endurance, that's great. But you have to build up to it, right? Dre can do an hour. He's put in the time to be able to do an hour on the elliptical, and he'll be fine. I can do an hour on the elliptical, and I'll be fine. But I know I can't go jogging for an hour and a half or just get up tomorrow morning and say, I'm going to go run a marathon. 26 miles, why not? No, because I haven't built up to that yet. So we have to also be realistic with what we are setting ourselves up to do and build up. Yeah, so Dre's saying we can do half hour, 45 minutes, an hour of cardio. Absolutely. But make sure that is something you build up to, right? We say all the time, start with whatever it is you like. People hit me up and I tell them the same thing. I've been speaking to a friend of ours as of late, and he's been saying, man, I really want to hit this jump rope. I got a weighted jump rope. I'm really inspired. I said, okay, great. Hit the jump rope. He said, but what about that elliptical you and Dre are always talking about? I said, but you're not me or Dre. If you like the jump rope, then hit the jump rope. But just realize that whatever your priorities are should be your focus. You know, I won't say names. But he told me, yeah, you know, my priority is to bring my weight down. You know, I'm kind of heavy. I want to bring my weight down. So I've been doing lots of strength training. I said, no. Your priority should be cardio if your number one goal is to bring the weight down. It doesn't mean you shouldn't do strength training. But like Dre said, then you should be looking at it like a pyramid. At the top is cardio. And then the next level down would be your strength training. And I think that's how we have to look at it. But I think it's awesome that they were able to do these things. Yes, Dre, you're correct. They did weapons training. And, you know, she said they were doing lots and lots of punching because there was lots of punch and fighting scenes in the movie. They wield all of these different weapons and they had to familiarize themselves with them. So, yeah, you are correct again. And, I mean, I don't really have too much to debate about. I just thought it was interesting to hear your perspective on it because of the fact that you've been in martial arts for so long and they were doing so much martial arts training, but also the addition of these other two, which we speak about all the time. I don't do any martial arts. I do know that shit takes a lot out of you mentally, spiritually. You have to be very focused. And again, I just applaud these strong, Black, beautiful women.
Yeah, no doubt, you know, and, you know, I'm actually thinking about starting a martial arts pod with a fellow martial artist because I do feel like learning basic self-defense should be something that everyone knows, you know. And, you know, I've done so many self-defense classes, taught so many self-defense classes. You know, a lot of times I like to call it women's self-defense as if men don't need to know how to protect themselves, which is a whole different conversation. But I just hate doing that. You know, I mean, I do it, but I always be like, why are we, you know, calling this women's self-defense?
The separatists?
You know what I'm saying? It's just self-defense. Everyone needs to get it anyway.
Right.
But it's something that I think people need to learn. And so, it's kind of two birds with one stone, right? It's like you can learn these different techniques to help take care of yourself if you get into these violent situations, and at the same time you can, get in shape and stuff like that. So it's a pretty good hobby if one wants to take it up. It kind of just like makes sense. The other thing that I wanted to highlight what you're saying is that, yeah, like the sort of like group mentality, right? The fact that they were all doing it really made it help them push themselves to do it. We've talked about this. When you can be doing things with someone, or you enter a class and it's like 50 of you doing it, for a lot of people, you're probably going to be more successful if you're the type of person that says, hey, when I do this in a group setting, I seem to get better results because I feel like I'm accountable to this other person accountable to me, and so you won't. Whereas some people, they go into the gym, they touch a few things, and then they're just like, yeah, I can't do this, and they leave.
Right.
I mean, no one is there to keep them accountable. That's why having like trainers like myself for a lot of people is necessary, because the trainer is going to be like, come on, let's get this done.
Right.
But even Arnold once said this, and he says it a lot too, like having that partner, with you a lot of times is really important, because we are going to have off days. We're going to have days where we're tired or whatever. And if you're in the company of really good people, they're going to push you. They're going to be like, come on, you can do this. Or, man, you still doing, 50 pounds. Come on, let's move it up to 55. You can, you could do more, know. Having that good sort of like buddy system is super important. And you see that. In fact, I was really impressed. The video that you sent me that shows the director was also doing the training, which, she's not in the movie. She doesn't have to do that. Most directors are like, go do this. And I'll be doing
Right.
Yeah. But the fact that the director was like, come on, guys, I really need y'all to look like women warriors. I'm going to be in there with y'all. That changes the dynamics of everyone doing it. It's like, wow, even the director's doing this. Man, I really get, if she's doing it and she's not even, she's on the other side of the camera.
Right.
Man, I definitely need to go in,
Right.
It's like, wow, that's great leadership.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
So, yeah, I really dig that, man. I feel like, hey, get with great people. Get with people who are where you want to be, or you guys are trying to do this thing together, and you're going to keep them accountable. They're going to keep you accountable. We're both going to push each other and make sure, hey, like us, even though we've started out our sort of fitness journey together, and we're not physically around each other, but we still try to, make sure that, hey, you know what? I'm going to send you my results. You're going to send me your results, because even if I go 2 or 3 days without going to the gym, I'm looking at your stats and I'm like, man, this dude is getting it in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's vice versa, right? Like you see my
Absolutely.
stats. If you miss a day or two, you like, yo, man, this cat he's getting it in.
Right.
And then the other thing that I want to address that I think was great is like, more and more as we as time goes on, age is really becoming just a number. I feel like that's sort of cliche. We kind of just like say that, but now it's really turning that way. It's like you got people in their 40s and 50s who no longer want to look like the people in 40s and 50s from like the 80s and 90s, where it's like, oh, well, I'm in my 40s. I'm going to get the gut. I'm in my 50s. I'm just going to chill. It's like those days are kind of like over, man. Like I'm looking at cats, I always mention my dude, Robbie Robinson. Shout out to Robbie Robinson. If you don't know who he is, he's on Instagram. He's a bodybuilder from Arnold's day. And in his 70s and looks fantastic. You know what I'm saying? And so we're realizing age is really just a number. If you are enjoying what you're doing and you're getting it in, you're going to get it in for life, Right. And so if it's something that you really enjoy doing, man, it's going to make your life so much better. So when you get older, You don't have to reach for that cane or, reach for that walker. You're like, yo, like I have the strength and endurance to have my independence and do whatever it is that I want to do. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So getting in a strength program and then some sort of cardio or endurance program, I don't care if it's swimming, walking, getting on your bike, doing
Mhm.
things that you like, going outside, getting that sun, man, it's the best thing ever. So shout out to her. She said she was doing all this stuff at 56. I think she's like 57 now. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's gangster. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you
Super
56
gangster.
and you doing 3 hours of martial arts training, and you're like doing all these like strength training things. And she was like, yo, running sprints on the treadmill, having it on 10, just like, you know, wild hit training.
Crazy.
Like, yo, I love it. I love it. And it takes the excuses away for people who are like 25, 30. I have kids. It's like, so, what I mean? Like you gotta, if you want that to be your excuse, fine. But there's so many people showing you right now today that age is really just a number, and you can get it in if you choose to.
Yeah. And we spoke about it here before. There's plenty of shit you can do at home. You don't have to go to the gym. You don't have to be in a martial arts program for 3 hours a day. You could jump right in your living room and hit a Zumba class on YouTube or a martial arts class through Zoom. Like there's mad other options now with all of the online platforms as well.
Right. But man, if when you get like, I think about the days when we train together and other
Mhm.
cats, 2-3 hours ago by, 4 hours ago by, we didn't even feel it, right? Because we
Oh
were
yeah.
having fun. I
Yeah.
tell everybody, like when people look at my stats, sometimes I post them and they see a 2 hour session or a 3 hour session. Because sometimes on a Saturday or a Sunday, while y'all out maybe watching football or you in the club for 3 hours, I tell everybody, I'm partying. You
Right.
know, I'm in the gym, I'm partying. I don't even care about the time. I'm having a great time having this long session.
Right.
And it's fun. And sometimes you can have these really long sessions if you just enjoy it. What's the difference between that and going to a bar for 3 hours?
Right.
Or, watching a football game, for mad hours. You know what I'm saying? Like when someone's like, oh, it's Sunday, I'm watching football. You spend the whole day doing that, just sitting on your ass, not
Right.
doing anything. It's like,
Right.
well, I may watch football too on Sunday, but I might watch it in the gym. You know what I'm
There you
saying?
go.
Like I'm watching it as I'm getting sets in. I'm watching it as I'm doing an hour on this elliptical. I'm like, oh
Right.
man, he did this, he did that. But I'm getting things in, and it's fun for me. It's fun to watch
Right.
the game, but it's also fun that I'm doing this workout. It's a hobby. It's beautiful. It's a great thing. So I don't
Right.
look at it as like, man, that's a lot. I'm not telling everybody else that, but when you find something you really like to do and it's a physical activity, man, enjoy it. Enjoy it as much as you
Right.
can. Go for that hour walk. Go for that 2 hour walk. Who cares?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. And let me see, what time is it? I got a few minutes. And speaking of doing things you like, enjoying it, enjoying the time, let's talk a little bit about the man, the myth, the legend, Tom Brady. Tom Brady.
Age is just a number, baby.
Yo, my man Tom Brady said, FTK. Fuck them kids. I'm playing football. Tom Brady, he did not literally say that. I'm joking around, internet. I don't want y'all to be like, he ain't never say that shit. But Tom Brady is going back to play football. He's going to play another season with the Bucks. His family is going through changes. There's a divorce happening. His wife is fed up. And listen, man, I'm just curious what your thoughts are, because this man is following his passion. He's having fun. He's enjoying himself. But I'm curious, do you think he's ODing just a little bit? Because, yo, I mean, He's already the greatest football player ever. He's already got all the number one stats. It's like, dude, what are you doing? So I'm curious what your thoughts are, and I just think it's a fun topic to talk about because
Yo,
he's having fun, and this is something
exactly.
he's passionate about.
It-
But I wonder what your thoughts are because yes, he does have a family, he does have kids, and clearly this is something that's been a point of contention for a minute because there's divorce filings happening.
yeah, I mean, it's sad that there's divorce filings happening, and the whole family dynamic. That's sad, but at
Mm-hmm.
the same time, every person, every man needs their happy place, needs their happy space.
Mm-hmm.
And so to tell Tom Brady, wow, you've accomplished so much, go sit down and chill in a house with your wife and kids, he's like, that's boring. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know but he's like, maybe it's the greatest thing ever. But obviously for him, his happy place is on the field,
Right.
and you could say whatever, but if you've been watching football, and I have, he's still killing it. You know what I'm saying? It's like once Tom Brady can't deliver what he can deliver, then you could be like, yo, Tom, go sit down somewhere, like, chill. You know what I mean?
Right.
No, honestly, it's like when Mike started losing. You know what I
Right.
mean?
The
Like
Wizards,
Mike was
Mike.
killing it. No, Mike Tyson, the boxing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant Michael
No,
Jordan.
no. The same, but it's the same thing. Michael Jordan, right? We can use that analogy. But when Mike Tyson started losing boxing matches, like when Mike Tyson was doing his thing, he's knocking people out. All of a sudden, Mike started getting knocked out. And then it was like, okay, Mike, it's time to hang it up.
Right.
Same thing with Mike Jordan, right? Mike Jordan, 30 points a game, 35 points a game, killing it. Then all of a sudden the numbers are going down. You can't deliver what you've been delivering for. Okay, Jordan, go have a seat. Thank you for the years that you've given us.
Right.
Tom Brady is not there yet. You know what I'm saying? He's still delivering. And when he can't, then we could say, Tom, you need to go sit down somewhere. But for right now, he's doing well. He's killing it on the field. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, and I'm not even a Tom Brady fan, you know what I mean? But I give credit where credit is due. Like he's killing it. It's like, dang, he's still good at this joint. So him being in his 40s and can still kill the game, hey, he's eating right. He's taking care of himself. He knows the field like nobody else. He's at mastery. And so when he's in there, that's his happy place. It reminds me of Tiger Woods, right? Where Tiger Woods was going through the divorce, going through this and that, and Tiger Woods made the mistake. And I think it's because his father wasn't in his life, but that's a different conversation. Maybe we'll man cave that one. But his father had passed because his father was always giving him guidance. Father had passed. He got caught with the whole cheating thing and blah, blah, blah.
Voicemails.
But the voicemails. Hi, it's Tiger. It's me.
Hi, this
Hey,
is
it's
Tiger. It's me, Tiger. I just wanted to let you know my wife is gonna call, but don't answer because matter of fact, just call me. It's Tiger. We'll talk more about it. Okay, it's Tiger. Bye.
Right. The DUIs getting busted. Yeah. Okay. The problem was he stopped golfing. And it's like, that's when you don't stop golfing. Like, I understand your life is going, but your happy place, your shrine, if you will, is the golf course. Right. That's where you come alive. That's where you're you. Like, people can say whatever they want out off the field, but when you're on your happy place, this is where you shine. And so this is what's happening with Tom Brady, man. Like when Tom Brady's on that field, listen, his wife ain't there. The lawyers aren't there. The kids aren't there. It's just him, those players, and let's play the game, baby. Let's dance. You know what I'm saying? And he's dancing right now. You know what I mean? And it's like, yo, stay in your happy place. That's your fortress of solitude, that field. you know. So why would you not want to be in your happy place? Now, when the time comes, because everybody time comes when he's like, okay, I thought I was done, or seriously, I'm done right now. Okay, you know, move on. But why should he, you know, move on? Oh, yeah, well, Tom, you should stop playing because you're going through a divorce and this is crumbling up and people don't like the way you parked your car. Like, I don't know what it, you know what I mean? It's like irrelevant bullshit that has nothing to do with the game. You know what I'm saying? So, man, play your game, bro. Play your game. Now, if it becomes too much and it's affecting your game, that's a different conversation. But from what I can tell, it's not. And man, the brother's he's still knocking it out.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. He is killing it. There's no questioning that. The question is, do we think he's ODing because it's costing him his marriage and, you know, issues with his children, allegedly, things of that nature?
Well, here's the thing. It's like, this is a thing that he likes to do. And so for his wife to say, stop doing it, I mean, is that fair to him? You know what I mean? It's like, this is the thing that makes him feel alive. This is the thing that he loves. You know, I don't understand. It's like when men love a thing, all of a sudden they shouldn't be doing it. They should be thinking about somebody else. But if, let's say his wife, who is a model or whatever, right? She makes dough as well. No one's telling her, you need to stop doing that and be home with your husband, you know, and take care of the kids or whatever. No one's telling her to do that. Like, you go out and they're millionaires. She makes millions, he's make millions. So it's not like the regular couple where somebody got to stay at home and watch the kids. They got people hired to do you think she's home cooking every night or some shit? No. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, he's out there mowing the lawn. No. There's people. They got all kinds of staff taking care of stuff, taking care of kids, picking people back and forth. So it's a whole different thing, you know? And so I feel like people need to do the thing that they enjoy. Now, maybe she doesn't enjoy modeling anymore. Maybe she's like, yo, I did that. I'm too old for that. That's a young person's thing. I'm done. Tom doesn't feel like that. Because, yes, we do know football is a young man's sport. But he's on something like, yo, but I still love it.
Right.
I love it, and I want to do it, man. Like,
right.
So why? So who am I or you or anyone else to say, don't do the thing that you enjoy the most?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm reminded of this interview that Arnold Schwarzenegger did with these young boys. One of them wanted to fight Mike Tyson in the ring.
Logan Paul or whatever.
Yeah. The Logan.
Paul.
Yeah, they got that podcast, the Paul podcast or Logan podcast, whatever it's called, right? But they have a podcast, right? Both of the brothers, they have a podcast, and Arnold Schwarzenegger was on there. And so one of them asked, because, you know, Arnold's in his 70s, like, you know, Robbie Robinson and all that. It's like, well, why do you still work out? And Arnold said, well, why do I still have breakfast? Why do I still wake up? Like, I enjoy it. I love it. I love the pump. It's like, oh, because, you know, I took a shower 10 years ago, I shouldn't take a shower now. Like, you know, yeah, I worked out 20 years ago. I still work out. Like, I still love it. You know, like I've accomplished a lot, you know, movies, being the governor, all that stuff. But what does that have to do with me loving to go to the gym and working out? I still love it. So why would I stop? And they were just like, oh, makes sense. I'm like, exactly. You know what I mean? Like, why don't stop doing the thing that you love to do as long as you can do it, you know? Right. Period.
Yeah, it's interesting. There are some things that have come out that said, you know, she's had modeling on hold. Obviously, there are details we don't know. I just think it's really interesting. And I think it's a fun topic because a lot of the media play is kind of like Tom is saying, fuck his family. And I'm like, well, I don't know if he's saying fuck his family. I think he's saying, I'm very passionate about this thing. I enjoy doing this thing. This thing kind of gives me purpose. And I think it's interesting that people are like, nah, Tom, you shouldn't be playing. Tom, go sit down. And I'm like, I don't know. I kind of see multiple perspectives here. So I was curious what yours was. Because I get it. At a certain point, it's like, yo, dog, you've been playing football forever. You got all the records. Come sit down and have some family time. Niggas never see you. Your family doesn't see you. You live and breathe football 24/7. What the hell? So I get that perspective, but I also get the perspective you just gave, where it's like, yeah, but this is my shit. This is what makes me happy. This is what makes me passionate. This what make me want to get up in the morning. So I think it's interesting. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, and doesn't football have an off season? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, when it's on, it's on. I get that. But they have an off season, you know, when he wins or maybe doesn't win or whatever after the season's over. There you go.
That's
Be with your
time.
family. Right. Have a great time. No, but seriously, like, how is that different than the dude that's like a pilot or that's working on the Amtrak or something, where it's like, oh, you know, a truck driver. I got a good friend of mine who's a truck driver. He's like,
Right.
yeah, I spend a week on the road, then a week with my family, then a week on the road. And it's like, this is the way it is. And he sends his money, you know, to his family, and he has a beautiful house and takes care of the entire house. Wife doesn't have to work, blah, blah, blah. But he has to be on the road.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like working this truck, getting it in. And so that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the dynamics of the thing that he has to do. And it's the same thing with Tom. It's like, okay, yeah, he's going to be on the road, blah, blah, blah. And I also get the danger involved. Like we just had a lot of concussions lately. And, you know, that's a different conversation to say, okay, well, wait a minute.
That's not the topic today.
Yeah, but it's like, well, you're there's a risk involved in playing football, right? And we've seen a few quarterbacks get in the past like few games get like really hurt. You know what I mean? Like, damn, something like.
I mean,
bad.
you know, they got the nobody touches Tom rule. Like,
yeah, they do. But
if you gonna keep it a buck, let's keep it a buck.
But you got to understand, there's a hungry young 23-year-old with only thing he wants to do
put Tom on that ass,
is sack the shit out of Tom Brady.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because that's how I get my name. If I'm the dude that really rags Tom Brady, like I get through his fucking, you know, defense, and I'm just like, got you, mofo. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, this is the cat that took out Tom Brady. Like, man, Tom Brady got shook up from this dude. And it's like, yeah.
Right.
You know? So, yes, there's a lot of young talent that is starving, salivating to get to Tom Brady. But he enjoys it. You know what I mean? Like when you see the I know you know watch football anymore, but the last game, it was with the Saints actually. The Saints played Tampa Bay. They got into like a fight on the field. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. And Tom was like, you know, part of it. And it says he wasn't like brawling or anything, but he was popping garbage. Somebody else was popping garbage. And some dude just came out of nowhere and clocked this other dude. And Tom moved out the way. And they made sure Tom didn't get hit. Like you said, Cash just came over like, you said 3 words to Tom. You know what I mean? It was nuts. I was like, yeah, these cats are crazy. Yeah, but they loved it. That's what I'm saying. And also, that's another thing you have with a cat like him being that, you know, that older dude. These guys were looking up to them when he was, you know, when they was like kids. And now they get to play alongside of him. So when he steps on the field, forget who the coach is of the fucking, you know, Bucks. Right. Tom Brady is the, you know what I mean? Like Tom Brady standing there saying, hey, I'm going to need you to do this. I need you to, give me 150%. They're like, yes, Tom. Yes, I will do that for you. Right. You know what I mean? So it's that element as well to be like, yo, man, like you're that legendary dude. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, yeah.
All right, cool. I dig it. I got to look up that brawl situation.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Word, I got to check that out. All right, I got to go. This has been great. Thank you for joining me, Dre. those watching and listening, thank you for joining us. And we'll be back real soon with another one.
See y'all soon, man.